Welcome to the Harper Tech Academy, and today we're actually going to have a look at the cost of workplace injury within the hospitality industry. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. So today we're going to learn about WHS and the cost of workplace injuries. So we're actually going to look at the definition of what WHS stands for. We're going to look at the human costs, the social costs, the economic costs, the organisational cost, and then finally we're actually going to look at the organisations involved with WHS. So before we get going, we need to talk about what is WHS. WHS stands for Work, Health and Safety, and it looks at all aspects of keeping employers, employees and customers safe. Formerly occupational health and safety, but the legislation has changed. No one wants to get injured in the workplace, so we're going to look at the first cost, and we're looking at the human costs. So we're actually looking at the physicality of actually being away from work, also the psychological damage that might do, and also the emotional stress that you'll feel while you're not working. Many times in workers' compensation, people don't actually think about the social costs. So you think about your individual social life, how will that impact your family when you can't work, not being able to socialize with friends, and also what impact does that have on your colleagues who are still at work and maybe don't have that extra set of hands which they need. The economic costs are next. So you look at the rehabilitation and the medical costs to get better, the loss of wages at a short or long term, and also it might change your lifestyle if you've had a major accident in a kitchen or in hospitality. Did you know every year workplace injuries and deaths cost Australian $2 billion, and most of them could be avoided by following the rules? The organisational costs actually refer to the hospitality employer. Note that all of these costs will be incurred by the employer if you've had the accident at work. The cost of workers' compensation will also increase the business's insurance. So there are losses for the business. They may have to replace or train new staff. The fact that the staff members are away could lower the morale and also impact on productivity of a whole team. Now that we've looked at the workplace costs, let's actually look at the organisations that oversee WHS. The first one is the one that we've talked about a little bit, is WorkCover New South Wales. This is the agency that enforces WHS regulation. They also do workers' compensation for many different industries and work on education, inspections and investigations into WHS. Next one is Safe Work Australia, and they develop codes of practice or WHS guidelines to guide employers to actually meet the legislation. Local councils also play a part in the implementation of statutory obligations under the Act and the regulation. And yes, that's right, we'll be looking at that very soon. Unions play a part in actually keeping their workers safe, and other professional agencies also have a part. Now the next slide, make sure that you read about the direct and indirect costs of workplace accidents. Well, there you go, that's our first mix on the WHS. The workplace costs are very, very important to try and avoid when you're actually working in the hospitality industry. We've also looked at the different bodies that actually implement and regulate WHS in Australia and also in New South Wales. Please make sure later on that you watch the WHS legislation mix. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time at the Harper Tech Academy.